Hi, my name is Sophie Bassan, and what I want to talk to you about today is whether or not it's good to argue. And unfortunately, the answer is not straightforward at all. The answer is yes and no. It kind of depends. There's many variables, and in such a short video, it's difficult to cover all angles, but I shall do my best. First of all, it depends on the people's personalities. So some people are absolute drama queens. They love an argument. They love the make-up sex afterwards. And that's what makes them thrive. And that's how they enjoy a relationship. On the other hand, you've got the people who feel really unsettled and it feels like the relationship's not working at all. They need reassurance, and arguments are actually undermining everything that they're doing. So if you've got two people who are drama queens, it's happy days. If you've got two people that are don't like arguments, also happy days. If you've got one of each, is when you start to have a bit of a problem. But after a while, you would know that. So if you really love the person, you've got to learn to adjust to how they are and find a happy medium. If you are someone who can't handle arguments at all, and you are with a drama king or queen who needs them, then, you've got to find the happy medium. You've got to know that they actually kind of don't mean it. That's how they work. So that's the personality side of it around arguments. Then the second part is understanding why they actually happen. And there's no sugarcoating it. A lot of the time it's because of a lack of communication. It's because people either snap for nothing, or it's because they're bottling it up, and then it comes out. And there's two different types of argument. You've got the one-off, which is about something that's happened, and that's okay, that's very healthy to express your views, although there are ways of doing so. And then you've got the recurring arguments. So these are the ones that happen time and time again, and they never get sorted. So what do you need to look for if you are in a relationship where there are a lot of arguments? First of all, is the language. Is it aggressive? Is it critical? Is it defensive? Is it always the same person that's critical? Is it always the same person that's on the receiving end, shall we say? Who starts it? Is it always the same person? How often does it happen? Is it every other day? Is it every week? Is it once in a blue moon? And is there a pattern in this, or an obvious trigger that you can actually identify? For instance, with women, but time of the month, we do snap a little bit more than we would normally. So is this linked? Is there an obvious answer to it? Do you also fit in a bit of a role? So as I said just now, someone is often the aggressive one, but are you just like the victim? Because if you are, you're letting the other person do that to you. Then you need to look at how the argument ends. How is it sorted? Is it a case of you go sulking in two different corners of the house? Is it that someone just storms off? But how are you left to feel? And how is the other person left to feel? Because that's actually the main thing. It leads to anger and resentment. It then makes people feel like they're, unworthy. They don't feel respected. And most of all, everybody wants to feel heard and valued. And when you have recurring arguments that never get sorted, people don't feel heard and they don't feel valued at all. And that's when really the beginning of the end starts, so to speak. So what can you do about it? Well, the issue is that when you have an argument, you start to feel really strongly about things, and you end up even more so in your trenches. So you need to be spending a bit of time by yourself and actually working out what it is you want as an outcome that is actually reasonable, not just for you, but for the other person. You then need to work out steps as how you could get there and how you can put that across in a constructive way. Because this is not about blaming someone else and saying, oh, you always say this and you always say that and we're not getting anywhere. Just this one sentence is not achieving anything at all and probably going to create more of the same. And finally, you need to be aware of something that a lot of us are guilty about. It's being aware of whether we want to be right or whether we want to be happy. You've got to remember that you've taken years to get to your own conclusions and your own opinions, and you believe them to be best and to be right, but so has the other person. So yours are no more right than they are. And sometimes you have to agree to disagree. It's just that straightforward. And if it is such a major thing that is hurting the relationship, then you've got to really ask yourself whether you are in the right relationship. You need to remember that a lot of arguments take place in what is called the power struggle phase, which is normally after the honeymoon period phase, when both partners start to establish themselves. You know, the sugarcoating, the nicey bits are no longer there. It's often, this is me taking a rumpet. And both parties are doing that because they want to establish they're on par in the relationship. And this is when you have the most arguments, because that's where you are literally working it out for yourselves as to where you stand. So be mindful of all of this. And if you want to have a chat about your particular circumstances, because obviously this is quite general, then please click the link underneath the video. And I look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, have a good day.